On this episode of TLG Reacts, I'll be reacting to episode 1 of Dying to Know, which is apparently a new series for Dying Light 2, subtitled Stay Human. We're going to watch it in its entirety and react to it and talk about it. But before that, quick reminder that I have done multiple TLG Reacts today, and I will probably do a TLG React or two tomorrow, considering everybody has decided that all things need to be announced right now or in the upcoming days before we move closer towards E3. So buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride while we get through all these videos that we need to watch. Also, quick reminder to download and play Battlefield 5, Sharon Deep, and Wreckfest, all offer for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those. Come back at the end of this week for Plus Club and Game of the Month, which we played Zero Escape, the non-re games. We'll be talking about those this weekend. Both episodes will be this weekend. And yeah, play those, come back, and we'll talk about them. Also, we're moving into a new month, and the games have been announced for PlayStation Plus, which are Operation Tango, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, and Star Wars Squadrons. So make sure to download those when you have a chance to do so. Also, we have a Patreon link down below if you'd like to support this channel further than liking, commenting, sharing this video, and subscribing if you're brand new. And yeah, let's just jump into this. We got a lot to cover. All right, pre-E3 is upon us, apparently, and we're getting a lot of announcements and videos, and one being Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Dying to Know Episode 1, which is apparently a series that they're going to start doing for Dying Light 2, a game that a lot of people thought was dead in general. Apparently it's alive and well, and it's coming out at some point this year, so I hear. We're going to watch this. It is 31 minutes long, and see what they have to say about this game. Maybe they got some info on the release date. I'm pretty sure I heard what the release date is. Have some info on where this game's at and what happened to it. And yeah, I'm dying to know anything I can find out about this game, considering I'm very hyped for it. I'm a huge fan of Dying Light. I think it's a very underrated game. I think it's fantastic, very fun to play. Had co-op, loot. Game's great, and the prospect of a Dying Light 2 has been exciting ever since I heard about it. And yeah, the radio silence we got for a while there was worrying, but I assumed they were going to make the game regardless. When we had originally seen gameplay, it looked pretty far along, so I'd be surprised if they scrapped that. And luckily they haven't, so we're going to see it, and I can't wait to watch this, so let's just jump into it.
No, run.
Yo, is this game actually real? Is it really real? It's so weird. It's so weird how this game's kind of disappeared. Stay human. I don't know if it's too much.
Hello guys,
Dying Light
nice
2's
to
fine.
meet you. I'm Leah, and this is Dying to Know. If you're dying to know what's going on in the world of Dying Light 2, then you're in the right place.
Great.
Here we'll be showing you all the news, the latest from the Dying Light world. We'll be announcing a few contests, we'll be talking to developers, and probably most importantly, we're going to be showing you a brand new gameplay trailer where you can see the current state of the Dying Light 2 game. But first,
Hook it up.
there's someone here I need to introduce you to. It's Aiden Caldwell.
I'm a pilgrim, an outcast, roaming like a Japanese Ronin or an Old West desperado.
This is why the game's fucking been delayed. They've been doing this whole
My
time, building
future
up the set and
as a
shit.
tiny, dying light at the end of this tunnel.
Hot
Hello,
damn.
guys. My name is Jonah Scott, and I voice Aiden Caldwell in Dying Light 2. But before that, I'm going to host this program with Leia, if you don't mind.
The baby
My
got off
pleasure.
this table for
well,
a second.
I'm ready. Jonah's
Feeling real
definitely
tall.
ready, and I hope you're ready.
So if you're dying to know, just like us, then stick with us.
The story told in Dying Light 2
God, their
occurs 20
fucking build-up's
years
almost as
after
bad
the
as
events
mine.
of the first game. And if you're wondering what happened in those intervening 20 years, well, there's no better person to ask than the Dying Light 2 world director, Thomas Gabao, with who I'll be talking in just a moment.
And after that, I'll be speaking with Piet Jemenic, the narrative director of the game, so about the characters that appear in Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah, he definitely has a voice for games and cartoons and
Welcome
shit.
to the show, Thomas. So the first question I have for you today is, do I need to have played Dying Light 1 to sort of understand what's happening in Dying Light 2?
No, actually, you don't. Like you mentioned before, our game takes place some 20 years later, in a world where humankind has lost the war to the virus. So, in a way, you could say that Dying Light 2 takes us to the world beyond the apocalypse.
Intriguing. All right, tell me more, please.
It's already kind of an
Well, you remember the
apocalypse.
events of Heron in 2014. Well, after that, world leaders, they had a tough choice to make. They had to isolate the city of Heron.
Right.
For that, they created an exclusion zone. Like in Chernobyl, only a lot more people left to die inside the walls.
Yeah, right. So they just isolated the entire city. And did it help? Did it stop the virus?
Yeah, for a while it worked.
Sure
enough
did.
for everyone to forget about it. at
Everything's
least.
okay.
Only in secret, a handful of scientists continued to study the virus. You know, manipulating its DNA, creating new strains. They were looking for commercial military applications. So, you know, they're doing it for the money, really.
Yeah, of course. So what happened next?
Well, next, the shit hit the fan. By Christmas 2021, one of these mutated strains escaped from a level 4 laboratory located near Geneva. We don't really know if this was accidental or not, but this time the virus was much faster than any government. Before the world could react, civilization was on the brink of collapse. People were dying in the streets, capital cities were burning. By the end of 2023, 98% of the population had been lost to the virus. There was a few settlements remaining, but only one city was still standing. The last bastion of mankind.
He's explaining this shit like it
our
actually
city,
happened.
Villador, aka
And if I was sitting on that set, I might think it fucking happened too.
We have left. So that's everything that's happened outside of the city. What actually happens inside Villador?
Well,
He's been
the
developing
city
this game
has
for so
unique
long, he
rules.
thinks this is
First of all,
fucking
it's
true, like
surrounded
this is
by,
actual fact.
seemingly impassable walls. And inside
like,
the
oh,
walls,
fellow
the people
survivor, let me
decided
explain to you
use
what's
a
going
radical
on.
new weapon against the infection, which actually gave them the upper hand in the first stages of the pandemic. But it also created terrifying new monster archetypes. 15 years on, a new equilibrium sort of emerged in the city. By daylight, human factions fight to control the city, and at night, the streets become the realm of these bloodthirsty, infected monsters.
Great. Well,
Love it.
that is extremely interesting. Thank you very much, Thomas. And we'll be hearing more about the vibrant and fantastic city soon, I hope. But first, I think we need to hear a little bit more about the characters.
Sure, I guess.
Our second guest is a man of two industries, cinema and gaming. In a previous life, he wrote the hit HBO series Wataha?
Wataha, yeah.
Wataha. And then he moved on to Techland to become a narrative director. Piotr Jemenek.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
So we have plenty of time to talk about the rest of the characters in Dying Light 2. There are tons of them. But today, I think we want to focus on Aiden Caldwell, the protagonist. You want to talk more about him? Or?
Yeah, sure. So,
No, I'm good.
Aiden,
Just play the
he's the
game.
member of Outcasts, you know? The group of people traveling through this dangerous world of Dying Light 2, called pilgrims, because he's looking for his relative, the person whom he lost many, many years ago, and that person is his only memory from the past, and the only answer to whom Aiden really is.
Aiden is a really rich, deep character, very, very much cooler than I am.
Oh, no, come on.
I mean, he can run across buildings, jump from rooftop to rooftop,
stop
use all
him.
kinds of
He's
weapons.
Yeah, well, you know, he didn't have much choice. This world is full of infected, bloodthirsty creatures, so he didn't have much choice, right? The weak die, the strong survive, and Aiden, he just has to be strong. But why did he come like that? Why him? That's the main question of the game, and the player will have opportunity also to decide how Aiden will evolve. Will he help the weak? Will it distract him from his main goal? Or maybe he will just strive to the end of his search as soon as possible.
I can't imagine trying to survive or live in a city like that
Very
as a lone
interesting.
wolf by yourself without any kind of support.
Well, he's not gonna be alone, you know? He will meet many people. But again, depending on the player choices, some of
Damn,
them
it's
will
looking pretty
become his
good.
allies, but some of them will become his enemies. One of the group he will encounter are the Night Runners, the former special force officers who were sick of the army's cynicism and lack of concern for common people. But they were brave enough to help the people during the night. And the night, as you know, is pretty horrifying in the game.
Yeah, so
Still remember when I
Aiden joins
first
them,
played
joins
the
Night
original
Runners.
one,
Oh.
And like
That's the
first get
question, my
introduced
friends.
to like
The player will have to
the
answer
nighttime
to. I
and like
won't
all the
spoil
things
the
that show up
pleasure
then.
of
So
discovering
fucking cool.
Aiden's actions and true motivations.
Never
But
experienced it
what I
again.
can share with you is the fact that we really put big effort to make this character and many others complex and multidimensional. But there is so much
This
more
sure
to be
explains
discovered
something
during
about the game.
It's fascinating. Can't wait to learn more. Thank you so much, Pierre.
Thank you, thank you.
So before we watch the gameplay trailer of Dying Light 2 for the first time, we need to talk about something which is basically at the center of the Dying Light universe, which is
The community. Over the past few years, Dying Light has amassed over 23 million players and a 95% positive review rating on Steam.
which in Steam Talk
Damn.
is overwhelmingly positive, so bravo.
Yeah, we'd like to take a few seconds and thank you guys.
Thank you all for being on this journey with us. Thank you for sharing
know
your
that
love
many
with
people
others
playing
of
the game.
Dying
I've
Light.
only heard,
And
like-
thank you for these great moments spent together.
Not that many people fucking. Obviously not.
Dying Light
I would
1
hear
has
all those
some
people
amazingly
fucking.
creative fans, which is fantastic.
Compared to, like, other
pardon the pun,
games, I don't hear a whole
because
lot of
we're
people
going to be
talking about this
starting a
game.
brand new contest which will combine your love of Dying Light with that same creativity.
Now, with the release date of Dying Light 2 drawing ever closer, we'd like to extend our hand and invite you to make the community a little bit bigger. If you find yourself skilled in the ways of visual arts, writing, or costumes and cosplay, please join the Dying Light universe.
So check out
gonna join the Dying Light universe.
dyinglightgame.com/contest, and if you win, there's a fantastic monetary prize on the line. But also, there's some other great rewards you could be in with a chance with winning as well.
Like Platinum Edition of Dying Light.
Sick, bro.
Look at this. This is the finest edition of Dying Light ever made. This is the Platinum Edition of Dying Light. This has every bit of content ever released for Dying Light in one place. It's massive. I mean, look at it.
For those of you who haven't experienced Dying Light yet, we are introducing Dying Light 1 Platinum Edition. It's the
Perfect.
biggest and most complete edition to have ever
I think
existed.
I have
And
everything
we're
for the
offering it to
first
you
one.
now at an historically low price. All the content, lowest price.
There's literally no better time to buy than now, and you can get it on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Get your Platinum Edition of Dying Light now. This is the best offer, like, ever. I guess we don't have time to go over everything that's in the
Like
Platinum
ever.
Edition, but it is everything. This is how it looks.
Show me the game. Oh, I never played that. I gotta install this. Yeah, I want to play this. Got too many games to play. It's a pretty slick shot,
Okay, so
bruh.
I'm excited because you guys are in just a second gonna see the official gameplay trailer for Dying Light 2. And then after that,
why
we're
I'm
gonna
here.
interview some of the devs that made it possible.
So, without further ado, here it is.
Hey everyone! We've been quiet for some time, since, like the rest of the world, we had some unforeseen hurdles to clear. But the wait is over. Let's dive into the open
Okay,
world
low
of
key,
Dying
fucking
Light 2.
Dying Light when I first played it. I was like, I hate this parkour. And then by the end of it, I was like, this is the best first person parkour game I've ever played.
The last slice of Dying Light 2 showcased the mission from the main storyline.
You get after those fuckers.
You saw how your decisions influenced the narrative and notably changed the environment. This time, we want to give you a broader look at the game and a sneak peek at some of the things we'll be talking about in upcoming months.
Dude, it looks so much. Oh shit. Gliding's fucking the name of the game.
In Dying Light
two
2,
games that
you
I've
become
reacted to
Aiden
today.
Caldwell, an outsider trying to unravel a tangled mystery from
Yeah, it
his
looks
past.
way better than the
Its
first one.
trail leads him to the city,
Look how
probably
clean it
the
looks.
last bastion of mankind in the world.
Shit!
At first, you feel like this intense,
Want them
brutal
kissies.
place will tear
Give 'em up,
you
bro.
apart. But then you meet the Night Runners, veteran survivors who help people in better days.
By the way, I'm Hakan. You were a night runner. You used to help people. Remember? Night Runners are gone. Finished. A myth.
And although it's not entirely
break his
clear you
neck.
can trust them, you need allies in the dark. And these are the modern Dark Ages. It's been 15 years since the apocalypse and the world has changed. The old civilization has fallen, but a new one has been built on its ashes.
Oh yeah.
People fight desperately for scarce resources. Rules are broken, and weakness is punished.
She's innocent.
3 factions
Of course, by a
struggle
dude
for
dressed like
position in the
that.
city.
This is my chop
Survivors
people's
pride
heads off
themselves on
suit.
being able to adapt to
Let me put
any
my costume on.
circumstances and cobble together safe zones almost everywhere. Peacekeepers, loyal soldiers who want to impose their version of law and order and trample all in their path. Renegades, ex-prisoners serving their ruthless colonel, seeking to become sole rulers of the city.
Where is Wolves? Make him tell her.
God loves it.
Use these factions to reach your goal.
I'll beat the fuck out of this
Help
guy.
or harm them to reshape the city to your liking. Just remember,
That's cool.
each faction contains complex characters.
Nosy Parker, ain't ya? Got some kind of bad habit of yours?
So, will you follow cold calculation or your heart?
The Bazaar needs good people. Help us and you'll find a home here.
Littlefinger.
Some in the city offer no chance for an alliance. Bandits, outlaws, and common thugs live only to plunder and kill, plunging the streets into chaos. Yet, nightfall scares all of them equally.
Should. I'm so stoked to play this. Melee combat.
Darkness changes the rules of the world. As the light fails, monsters crawl out of hiding to prey on the poor souls caught outside the safety of UV rays. Hordes of infected pour into the streets like decaying lava. The deadly spawn of 15 years of mutation and evolution.
I feel like I play around with that now too because it's 15 years later.
Your only escape? Exploit the city's verticality and flee to the roofs. Though even there, you are never safe from swift and deadly virals. Or even greater threat. Yet
not a good
night
thing.
brings opportunity as well. Nests rife with infected during the day now lie empty. To explore them, you must tread carefully.
It's kind of a cool trade-off.
But those brave enough to face the terrors of the night can loot a jackpot.
I don't think the first game did that. It's kind of a cool incentive to get out and explore even when it's all fucked up. By the end of the first game, though, you're doing that anyway.
Luckily, you have all the tools you need to survive. Your extraordinary parkour skills allow you to navigate even the most treacherous terrain.
Ooh, a little high. Those launch pads? Oof, they got everything.
On the roofs, you can count on your parkour acrobatics to save your life.
Oh, I'm so fucking stoked to
But
play
often,
this.
you'll
All I
have to
want to do is
face your
drop kick
enemies
people
head
off
on.
fucking
And then
roofs.
You have to be smart, resourceful, and determined.
Game of the year. I know I've said Resident Evil.
We've worked hard
This
on
fucking
the
game of the
essence
year.
of our combat,
This game of the year.
making sure swinging a big, meaty weapon is fun, satisfying, and
This is coming
well
out
executed.
in December,
But
though,
even the
so
most
it's a little
brutal
late.
fights can be tactical as well. You have multiple ways to hone your skills toward the gameplay style that suits you best. It's up to you if you focus mostly on mobility and parkour,
That was fucking
aggressive,
cool.
blunt force combat. or a crafty approach where the tools you've created get the job done. Every ability you learn
All the
could be a
physics,
game
I love
changer
it.
and possibly a new favorite move. Things move fast and quick in Dying Light 2. Each moment matters. Each move could mean triumph or defeat. Choose your actions and friends carefully. Everything you do in the city can reshape the gameplay environment, change the course of the narrative, and decide the fate of the city's residents. But most importantly, you decide your own fate as well.
You're about to turn.
Make sure to stay human.
An extensive post-apocalyptic world. And I really like that divisiveness, you know, the life on the roof and then death on the streets.
Yeah, like the intensity of the day and the night cycle together.
Yeah, it's almost like Dying Light 2 is two different games put together into one.
Yeah, like despite that, despite all the brutality going on the ground floor, there's something about like the rooftops and the plants and
It's
stuff.
cozy.
Yeah, I kind of want to be there. But it does feel like every decision is vital. Like your choices actually do have some consequences.
Choices and consequences are incredibly vital to Dying Light 2's gameplay. And we're going to interview some devs and talk about some other very vital gameplay mechanics.
Good.
Our next guest is Adrian
don't wanna hear them talk anymore.
Krzyzewski. Hi.
Welcome, and that gameplay looked awesome. I know we
Yeah,
can't wait to
well,
get our
that's
hands on
pretty
it, but
cool.
congrats.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like you guys have a very unique world and a very unique game. Where y'all get your inspiration from?
Oh, that was a research. We did a deep dive into the history of our world, and we found repetitive patterns. We found that people use the same behaviors in the past after the fall of civilization or after the fall of the nation that's supposed to be a backbone of our world. So our approach was super simple. We just copycat those behaviors and attitudes and show you how our world would look like after the fall. However, it's kind of obvious that the main reason that civilization fall is virus pandemic or eventually the economical collapse. Yeah, that's basically obvious thing. But it's even darker if you connect those things with the research we did at the beginning of the production. So people will question everything. They're gonna blame everything and everyone that's supposed to guide us in our lives every day. So they're gonna blame governments, they're gonna blame law, they're gonna blame science, or even religion. Some people might ask themselves,
he was just kind of talking
where was
about
God when it happened to us,
what's
basically,
going on
you know?
in fucking
So
IRL.
I feel that all of those things together creates the sensation that
Probably
it's
talking about a game.
giant step backward for our civilization.
So, Dying Light 2 has a subtitle, Stay Human. What does that mean?
Well, it's super hard to remember those values that makes us human, so like compassion or support. So the entire fall that
They're going like a Far Cry
big test
primal route
for
where you're like
everyone. And I think it's even harder test because to stay human, people
getting some
would
crazy
sacrifice
mutations.
what's the most important for them, or sometimes risk their lives.
Wow, so that's like really intense. And there's like the obvious double meaning to it, which is what I was thinking. Stay human, don't
Wow,
become
it's
a
like
zombie.
really
Yeah,
intense.
but one disclaimer, those are not zombies, you know, those are infected people that turn to be a monster. They're just crossing a line, you know, and they're turning to be a monster, you know. Because in Dying Light, we all infected. Yeah, we all wearing this biomarker, you know, Aiden,
yeah.
you're wearing this, I'm wearing this. That's a watch, actually, but you know that, you know, so that's the thing. So the challenge is to not cross this line at all costs. So that's the biggest challenge of staying human in this meaning.
I see, yeah, not zombies.
Not zombies.
Not zombies.
At all.
People who've crossed the line.
All right, well, fascinating. Thank you so much, Adrian. We're definitely going to be hearing from you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We have with us Katarzyna Tarnacka, the environmental art director.
Hi. And we have game designer Michał Duzak.
It's a full-on video.
So, choices and consequences. The player has to make a choice,
Like,
and
shit,
they
we
have
haven't
to
talked in, like, 5
experience or
years.
endure the consequences.
we gotta
What does
make
that
it
mean?
up.
Basically, the whole system of choice and consequences is really complex.
2019? That sounds
I would say
right.
the best way to describe it is that player is making the decisions based on 3 layers. First one are the choices that you do during the main story missions. And those big changes can change the whole game or even how the story ends. The second layer are choices that you do while the quests. And those choices can actually influence the mission itself. And the last one, the last layer, is so-called city alignment system. And I, as an open world game designer, would like to focus on.
Please do, go on.
All right, so water and electricity are basically a key to survive in every world. By restoring it, player can not only unlock the water or electricity in the area, but he can also, based on his decision, assign it to one of the factions, which will influence how the district looks like or who's gonna live inside of it.
That's pretty
but
cool.
It also, what is pretty more important for a player, unlock new tools for him, like unique tools for each factions, like car traps, zip lines, or a trampoline. That player can use in exploration to deal with
I really like they're
bandits
going
or infected, or
as
simply
far
to
as they
move
are
faster through the city.
when it comes to
So basically,
choice and
based
how it
on
actually
your choices, you
has
shape the game
consequences on the world.
environment,
Yeah, like he's saying.
which gives
exactly.
you a different
He knows.
experience every time you start a new game.
He knows better than I do.
What is worth mentioning here that Dying Light 2 is playable up to 4 co-op players. So you can host the game,
Fuck
join
yeah.
other players, and see how their choices came up differently to your own.
Oof, I'm so excited.
There's one thing I'm really curious about.
He's
though.
not. He's fucking,
night versus day. How does the gameplay differ from the night and the day?
Well, the short answer is that day is for humans and night is for the monsters. But to describe it a little bit better, I would say that during the day, humans, factions, bandits, or survivors scavenging the city and searching for some scraps or someone who might have them. And this is the best time for a player to explore the city, meet its citizens, learn the stories, day-to-day agenda, or even simply help them in a quest or open world activities to survive those dark ages.
Yeah, and that sounds quite pleasant, but I'm guessing night changes everything.
Exactly, exactly. During the night, all the infected get out of the buildings. And compared to the Dying Light 1, the night is gonna be even more intense this time.
Good.
Intense in terms of the amount
It's
of
like in the
enemies,
beginning, it's kind of like the
new
Skyrim
types
thing.
and
Like
new,
it starts
more
out and you're
aggressive
like, holy shit, this
behaviors.
is
And what
crazy.
is
There's
important,
dragons. Holy
this
shit, this is
time,
crazy. And
nighttime
then
is
it
also
gets
opportunity.
really intense.
An
But then like you play for a
opportunity
little bit and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Courage
So
and skilled enough to use the fact that all the infected are outside and
I'm glad
buildings
that
are
they're
accessible
evolving
to explore
into
them
something
and search
more.
for the most valuable
Changing it
loot in the
up.
game.
Katarzyna, you're responsible for the post-apocalyptic look of the city. Can you tell us a little bit how about the city became to look that way?
Yes. I guess the important thing to realize is in 2025, a decision was made to use a chemical attack to stop the spread of the Haran virus. And the result is a tight ring of chemically active areas around the city. Some of the chemicals have gotten into the groundwater and spread under the surface, killing every living plant and every living thing in its reach. What it means for the city is that the street levels are virtually dead. The soil is unable to sustain any life, any plant.
It's a solid
and
plan.
the street
Sounds like
level
it
is
worked.
the domain of the monsters, just decaying in every aspect.
Wow, so it sounds like there's just no healthy organic life down there at all.
Not really. The survival on the street level is pretty tough. So the common people are just visitors there. But the life prevailed. It moved up to the rooftops. And this is where the plants are flourishing and blooming in the post-apocalyptic landscape. And this is where people build and develop the new world of Dying Light 2. Electricity producing windmills and safe zones for the player. And in a way, in a metaphorical sense, the rooftops are
What
the
the
new
hell that
default
chick was doing? She looked
ground
horrifying.
floor, the level 0. And trip to the streets is, in a way, a trip underground, a -1 of sorts, just a corpse of a lost civilization.
Yeah, to say the least. I can't imagine being a citizen living in that city, let alone being a player, and how challenging that's going to be.
Yeah, and hold that thought. Thank you very much for joining us today, but it's now time to introduce our next guests.
Shut the fuck up. We got
With
new
us now
people
are Bartosz
showing up.
and Peter. And guys, I have one question about the open world in Dying Light 2. How big is it?
It's pretty big.
We know that. Can you tell us a little bit more?
It's a good
Yes,
answer.
of
Yeah, it's
course.
pretty big.
The map in Dying Light 2 is divided into 2 huge regions and several zones. There are plenty leftovers from the lost civilization for you to scavenge. But we didn't want our players to perceive the map only horizontally, so we see the map as a multi-level 3D world that supports your traversal and helps you solve parkour puzzles.
Yes, in-house we call it multi-layer open world exploration. And you know, the movement system from Dying Light 1, we remove every restriction from the player. You can move everywhere you want, how you want to do it. And when I think about it, I think that was a big challenge for us to create the geometry that support all of that. And we did it, and I think we did it well. Doing the same thing in Dying Light 2 wasn't our goal. We want to make one or more step forward to surprise the player expectation. That's why we doubled the number of parkour moves.
Doubled. And I mean, it's not like there was a shortage in Dying Light 1.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yes, the iconic Dying Light 1 parkour
There's quite a bit.
is essential there. We improve it. We double the number of parkour moves. The players will see over 3,000 different parkour animations. From the basic move, through the
That's
tricks,
impressive.
to the small little tasty
Especially in
details
first
there
person,
that
so
you can
tricky
see.
to do.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop you there, but don't hate me because in the next episode, we're going to be talking more about parkour and how the team have managed to make an authentic urban running experience in Dying Light 2.
Thank you guys so much for the information. Bartosz, Peter, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's pretty crazy.
Okay, so the last and arguably the most important question I'm sure you have is when is the release date?
Yeah, that is a very, 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 very important question.
And luckily, we have the answer.
Never.
And that answer is the 7th of December.
Waited years to say that out loud.
Yelling.
Now
So,
that we know the release
pretty
date
far
of the game,
out, but at least
time
it's
for you to
coming
go
out
pre-order.
this
Go to
year.
dyinglight.com/preorder, select your platform, and then hit pre-order.
It's a little early for
Congratulations.
fucking
You just
pre-orders.
pre-ordered one of the most anticipated games of this year. Go you. Oh, wow. I want one.
Well, I've got good news for you then, because this official figurine is part of the collector's edition
Yeah,
of Dying Light 2.
that's kinda cool
and you can get one
looking.
for yourself if you want. We'll leave like a proper unboxing of the whole set to the professionals, but we do have it all in front of us right now, so it'd be rude not to take a look. You get, in the collector's edition, a concept art book full of stunning artwork from the game. You get this steel book, which will have your game inside it, of course. And you get this interesting little sort of UV flashlight. So, yeah.
Cool. It looks like there's all sorts of vanity elements in here, too, like some
So you can go
legendary
to
skin pack.
fucking
as well
hotel
as all
rooms
sorts of
and
digital
really
elements.
investigate
For
'em.
more information on these digital elements, please visit the pre-order website. I want this. And I want Dying Light 2.
Kind of thought you'd say that. Well, if you're feeling the same way, then I've got good news, because you can pre-order the collector's edition. However, it is very, very limited, so you'll have to be very quick.
Rest assured, there will be plenty of the standard edition for your standard gamer, but if you're into special editions, there is a deluxe edition of Dying Light 2 with a steel book, legendary pack, and a digital soundtrack, and much, much more.
So to summarize, that's 3 different editions that you can
Kinda
buy
want
depending on
that
what you're after.
collector's edition.
And if you just can't wait until release to get immersed in the world of Dying Light 2, then why don't you go check out the Techland Gamers and Goodies website for more info.
Yeah, this is a program for all
not doing
gamers,
that.
whether or not you want updates on
I'm
Dying
not
Light
doing
2
that.
with the news, or you want
I'm just
Dying
gonna
Light 2
download it on
items in Dying
Steam,
Light
the
1.
original, and play that.
Everyone's gonna find something they like there.
Yep, and this is just an initial offering as well. Check back later for even more details, more information, and we'll be going through it in future episodes as well.
That's it. Don't forget to pre-order the game and take part in our contests. The details are on the game's website.
And here's a
I
sneak
swear
peek
that
at the topic of
fucking,
the next episode.
whatever the hell he's
Thank you
wearing,
for
that
watching.
long
Stay
jacket
safe
thing,
out
it's
there.
just
Bye.
unzipping more and more every time I see him. All right, they did it. They got me hyped even more than I was. All right, well, that was episode 1 of Dying to Know, showing off Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Okay, so let's talk about that first. I don't like that name. I don't dislike it. I don't hate it. I'm not like, oh god, this fucking sucks. But it's not. It's so much. It's so much. And maybe there's something to it that they're not telling us, which I kind of feel like they're doing. But I feel like Dying Light 2 worked just fine. So Stay Human, just adding that little bit, I don't know. It doesn't flow off the tongue very good. So, but no big deal. I'm still gonna buy this game because I'm very fucking hyped for this game. Everything they showed for this looked awesome. This game seems to be enhanced in every single way possible. The game looks way cleaner than the first game. The parkour has double the parkour moves that the original had, which is insane to hear. The world looks way more intricate, way more thought out. When it comes to canon and lore of the world, they've definitely expanded on that quite a bit. I love the idea of the choices you make, changing the world. That's not something I was really expecting a whole lot from this. They had talked about it a little bit, but not really specific concepts of what they're going to do with that. So that sounds really awesome. Combat looks fucking awesome. Looks as good, if not better, obviously, than the original, which is great because the original kind of took that Dead Island style that was very janky and refined it, and this looks even more refined, so I'm really excited for that. Being able to get more tools and like jump pads and shit around while you complete stuff for certain areas is a really cool addition. They really have added quite a bit to this. I really like the idea that this is like 15 years in the future, or 20, I forgot what they said. So it's kind of evolving how things work. A big change in my opinion, I don't remember them doing this in the first game. At night, obviously things get more intense. The zombies come out, the infected, everything, the super infected come out. But to have where they were like hanging out become more accessible while it happens is a really cool idea. It kind of incentivizes like, okay, you should probably run back, but also what if you go investigate that area you couldn't get to before because now they're all out and you have like that limited time before, dawn to have a better chance at seeing what's in there. I think that's a really fucking cool idea. It's really exciting to hear that they even expanded on that. I really like that they've kind of looked into how people are during collapses of society. I'm not sure exactly which collapses they're talking about, but I'm glad they're even thinking about it and doing the research for that. Look at the animations; they look so much better than the original game. Like the original game is really good. I fucking like it a lot, but there's like some jank to it, and this game really seems like they are upping the bar in quality in every way, and that's really fucking exciting. Let's see. The world looks so good too. It's like the original game's world was really a lot more intricate than I thought it would be, but this one seems even like way further along in terms of design than they did in the original game. So that is a nice surprise. And yeah, I mean, literally everything about this game is looking sick. It's going to be 4-player again, which is really exciting because the original was great by yourself or with friends. They do that really well. They make it work really well, and this will most likely be no different, if not just better than they've done before. I'm sure we'll hear more and more about that in the future when it comes to how multiplayer will work. And yeah, I can't wait to fucking play this. So let me know in the comments. What do you think of the presentation first off? I thought it was actually kind of neat. It seems a bit overboard. I'm surprised they put that much production value into 2 people sitting around talking about the game. But it's appreciated. It's cool looking. A little dorky, but it's cool. But what do you think about the presentation? What do you think about the information they conveyed and showed off? Are you excited for this? Have you played the original? How much of the original did you play? I played the base game and some of the DLCs, but I never played the newest one, the medieval fantasy one. I haven't played that yet, so I got to check that out. And yeah, are you a fan of the original? Apparently like 22 million people have played that game, which is fucking awesome to hear because that game deserves it. I'm going to pick up the Platinum Edition that has all the DLCs. And yeah, are you excited for this one? What's your most anticipated feature they're adding? What are you most excited about? Is there anything you're kind of worried about going into this game? Maybe some apprehension on some of the stuff they might be adding. Maybe they're going too overboard. I really don't think so. I think everything in this game is sounding fucking awesome. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Dying Light 2, I already forgot what it's called, Stay Human, in the comments below. And that's going to do it for this episode of TLG Reacts. Make sure to check out my TLG Reacts I did for Horizon Forbidden West. And I think I have a third one out as well, or coming out soon. It's been a busy day playing catch up with all the videos that are showing up recently, and I know there's more to come, so stay tuned for those as well. Also, Plus Club and Game of the Month this weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend for us and for you as well if you participate in the videos we watch, which of course we appreciate so much. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment and all that stuff. And until the next episode, my name's Seth, and talk to you later. Take it easy, guys.